People always say Slender Man isn't real, that he's just a myth, a story from the internet made to scare kids. But I'm telling you right now, he's real. And once you see him, even for a second, your life is no longer yours. Because last night, I saw him standing outside my window, and the worst part wasn't that he was there. The worst part was that he didn't move. He just stood there, like he was waiting for me to notice. It started 3 days ago. My cousin messaged me and told me we should go to the old forest outside town. He said people had been disappearing lately, and all of them were last seen near the woods. I laughed at first. I told him it was probably criminals or wild animals. But deep down, I felt something else. Because when I was a kid, I used to hear the stories about a tall man with no face. A man who doesn't speak, but somehow makes you hear things, see things, until you lose your mind. That night, we went into the forest. It was late. The streets were empty, and the air felt colder than it should have. The trees were so tall they blocked out the moonlight, and the deeper we walked, the quieter everything became. No birds, no insects, no wind, just silence. My cousin was recording on his phone, laughing and making jokes. He kept saying if Slender Man was real, he'd fight him. I told him to stop talking like that, because something about that forest felt wrong. After about 20 minutes, we found the first sign. A white sheet of paper nailed to a tree. It had a drawing of a tall figure, long arms, no face. Underneath it were 2 words written in black ink. No eyes. I felt my stomach tighten. My cousin laughed, but his laugh faded when we noticed there were more papers. Not just one, dozens, all over the trees, like someone had been leaving warnings. That's when my cousin's phone started glitching. The screen froze, the video cut out, and a low static sound came from the speakers. He smacked the phone, but it only got worse. Then the flashlight flickered. Once, twice, then it shut off completely. We were standing in total darkness, and in that darkness, we heard footsteps, slow footsteps, heavy, not like a normal person walking. It sounded like something tall was moving through the trees, taking its time. I turned my flashlight back on, and the beam cut through the darkness. For a moment, I thought I saw a tree, but then it shifted, and I realized it wasn't a tree at all. It was him, a tall figure standing between the trunks, at least 7 feet, maybe more, wearing a black suit, a white shirt, a tie, but where his face should have been, there was nothing. No eyes, no nose, no mouth, just smooth, blank skin. My cousin whispered my name like he couldn't breathe, and suddenly the static got louder. My flashlight began flickering rapidly, like it couldn't handle whatever it was shining on. Then I saw something move behind him. Black shapes stretching out like living shadows, tentacles slowly rising from his back. Not fast, not aggressive, calm, like he didn't need to hurry, like he already owned the forest. The tentacles wrapped around nearby trees, pulling him forward without him ever taking a step. And that's when I felt it, that pressure in the air, like the forest itself was crushing my chest. I tried to move, but my legs felt heavy, like they didn't belong to me anymore. My cousin screamed for me to run, and suddenly my body obeyed. We sprinted through the woods, branches cutting our faces, dirt slipping under our feet. I could hear my cousin ahead of me, breathing hard. Then he shouted. He screamed one word, "Wait," and I turned around. He had stopped, frozen in place, like something invisible was holding him. He slowly turned his head, and I saw the terror in his eyes. Behind him, Slender Man was standing closer than before, so close that his shadow covered my cousin's entire body. My cousin's phone slipped from his hand and hit the ground. He looked at me and whispered, barely loud enough to hear, "Don't look at him, don't look at him." Then the static exploded in my ears, and my cousin was gone. No blood, no scream, no struggle. 1 second he was there, and the next second, nothing. Just empty air where he had been standing. I ran until I saw the streetlights. I didn't stop until I reached my house. I locked the door, shut the windows, and sat on my bed shaking. I kept telling myself it wasn't real, that it couldn't be real. Then my phone buzzed, a message from my cousin. One word, look. I opened it. It was a photo, a selfie of my cousin in the forest. But he wasn't alone. Slender Man was standing behind him, leaning down like he was whispering into his ear. My cousin's eyes were wide open, too wide, and his mouth was stretched into a smile. But it wasn't his smile. It looked forced, like something was wearing his face. I dropped my phone, but it kept buzzing. Again, and again, and again. Dozens of messages, all from my cousin, all saying the same thing. Look, look, look. Then the lights in my room flickered. The TV turned on by itself, and the screen filled with static. The sound was so loud it felt like it was inside my head. And through that static, I heard a whisper. Not from the TV, from inside my skull. A voice that didn't sound human. It said, "You saw me." My body went cold. I couldn't breathe. And then I felt something pulling my attention toward the window, like an invisible hand forcing me to look. I tried to resist, but I couldn't. And when I looked out, I saw him, standing across the street. Tall, still, silent. Even without a face, I could feel him staring straight at me. I closed the curtains immediately, but the static didn't stop. It got louder, and then I heard tapping on the glass. Slow tapping, not like fingers. Heavier, like bones knocking softly against the window. My phone lit up again. The cracked screen flickered and one final message appeared. Not from my cousin, not from any number. Just unknown. It said, "Do not sleep." That's when I remembered the old stories. Slender Man doesn't just kill you. He makes you weak. He makes you paranoid. He makes you lose your mind until you belong to him. And the worst part is, the more afraid you are, the closer he gets. It's been 3 nights now. I haven't slept. Because every time I close my eyes, I see him, standing closer and closer and closer. And tonight, I heard something outside my bedroom door. Not footsteps, not breathing, just static. And now the door handle is moving, slowly, like someone is testing it, like someone is waiting. If this gets uploaded, don't come looking for me, because if you enter that forest, you won't come back. And if you see a tall man in a suit, don't look, don't run, just pray. He didn't notice you.